Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this glitter floral burst tumbler. I recorded all the steps, but I did miss myself doing the vinyl striping for the outlining. Everyone showed this tumbler so much love though, and they wanted the tutorial anyway. So I did promise that I would list all the products that I used along with the sizing in the description since I did miss that last part. But let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, I've already sanded, prepped, and spray painted my tumbler. I'm using a 20-ounce skinny from the Stainless Steel Depot. I spray painted it a gloss white, and then the center is rustic pink, both from Rust-Oleum. And I'm applying my glitter using the epoxy method. I have probably less than 1 milliliter of epoxy on my tumbler. Smooth it on nice and evenly, and then you're ready to apply your glitter. I'm starting out with Yeti from PDB Creative Studio. It's a chunky mix, and I'm going to start by adding that to the very top and bottom rim of my tumbler. Once I get good coverage for both of those areas, I'm going to start angling my tumbler, holding it up and down at about a 45-degree angle to kind of let that glitter fall towards the center of our tumbler. Once you start angling your tumbler up and down, go for very light coverage. You don't want full coverage at this step because we want to establish our ombre. So just very lightly tap that glitter, aiming at the very top and bottom rim where you started, and just let that fall down towards the center of your cup. Now we're going to go in the center with Ambrosia. I think that's how you say that. It's from NMO, and it's also a chunky mix as well. We're going to just center that right in the middle of our tumbler best we can, go around pretty heavy-handed for this step. And then once we have that done, we're going to hold our tumbler at a pretty steep angle, as you can see. Just lightly tap, aiming for that middle that we just did, and let that fall down into our white. Again, for this step, we don't want to go very heavy-handed yet. We're just establishing our ombre, and we're going to come back in and fill in the gaps. Now we're going back in with Yeti. We're going to repeat the first step that we did, this time going just a little bit heavier-handed. Then I took Fuzzy Navel from Peachy Olive Glitters and went over the center. I definitely didn't need to do this step, completely optional, but whatever. And since we use chunky mixes, we definitely want to pat down our glitter so we don't have to do as much sanding and epoxy coats later, so just roll your cup up in a sheet of parchment paper. After that glitter layer cured, I did 3 more coats of epoxy, sanding in between each layer, and now we're ready to apply our vinyl. The vinyl that I'm using is called Pippa from NMO. I'll have that linked below with a discount code as well. And I cut back just a little bit of the backing paper after I laid my transfer tape on, and I sat my tumbler straight up on my table so I could get it nice and even. Now I'm wrapping it around to make sure everything lines up perfectly before I go to apply it. I got this burst template off of Etsy, and I cut it at 9.5 inches wide by 8 inches high, but that will vary depending on how many coats of epoxy you have on your tumbler. Once I have that all lined up, I'm going to take the felt side of my squeegee tool and just wrap that around the tumbler. Once you're almost done your wrap, take off that backing paper, lift up the beginning of your transfer tape because you don't want to lay that vinyl on top of your transfer tape, peel that up, and then line your vinyl up from there. I did get just a slight wrinkle at the bottom of my vinyl, but it's no big deal, it's removable, so you can lift it up and apply it again and it's perfectly fine. Now I'm going to go with my craft knife and trim off the excess at the top and the bottom points, and then I'm also going to trim off right beside the seam. Like I said earlier, I didn't record myself doing the vinyl striping, but I did get my vinyl from Hobby Lobby. It's a matte opal, and I cut it with my Cricut using the shapes feature, and I cut a square at 11.5 inches high by 0.05 inches wide. I took my lines into the center of my burst, and then I covered it up with a little rose, and I cut that using the same vinyl, and that was 0.59 inches wide by 0.59 inches high. Then I added 2 more coats of epoxy, mixing Sirius from NMO in my top coat, and then we were all done. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and please like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new uploads. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.